Good evening, all of you. Open your prayer book. We'll chant the prayers on page 7 and 8 together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Go to page 35. Page 35 in our prayer book. The world is ready to give up its secrets if we only know how to give it the necessary blow. The strength and force of the blow come through concentration. There is no limit to the power of human mind. The more concentrated it is, the more power is brought to bear on one point, that is the secret. Here Swami Vivekananda is talking about concentration and the impact of concentration on our mind. Swamiji says, our mind is a powerhouse of energy. It is an immense source of energy. It is capable of doing everything and anything in this world. The only thing is we should be able to channelize the energies in the right direction. So most of us don't realize it and we misuse the energies in simple activities or the activities which don't get any benefit to us. So that's why Swamiji stresses on using these energies in the right way. So when we are able to focus or channelize these powers or energies in the right way, then we develop concentration. And when we do something with concentration, and the same thing when we do without any concentration, we can easily identify the difference. We ourselves can understand it. So that's why doing things with concentration makes difference. If you take an incident from our holy epic Mahabharata, Dronacharya, the teacher of Kauravas and Pandavas, was teaching them the art of archery. And he wanted to test the level of concentration of his students. So he takes a wooden bird and places it on a big tree and says that the eye of the bird, which was blue in color, is the target. They have to hit the eye of the bird. And one by one he starts calling his students, Yudhishthira, Duryodhana and remaining. And one says that they are able to see the tree, plant, leaves. Another one says that they are able to see the bird as well as the eye. But after some time, he calls Arjuna. And then he asked him, what are you able to see? Then Arjuna says, I am able to see the eye of the bird, which is blue in color. So the remaining things, the tree, the branches, the leaves, the bird, the feathers of the bird, the beak, nothing was visible to him. He was only able to see the eye. So that is real concentration. So when we want to do something and when we are going to do something, then that is the only thing which should be there in our mind. The remaining things which come in our path or in our way, which surround us, they should not disturb us. They should not make us to divert our attention. So when we are able to achieve at least 50% of that concentration, then the work which we are going to do will be successful. Again, Swamiji says, the greater part of the practical lessons which the yogi gives us is in the mind. The power of concentration and meditation. We have become so materialistic. When we think of ourselves, we find only the body. The body has become the ideal, nothing else. So here Swamiji is talking about the mind and the way we treat it in the present days, and how in our ancient times the people who lived on this holy land trained our mind and they were able to achieve everything and they were able to do every activity perfectly. So for this, I would like to narrate an anecdote from the life of Alexander. Normally in the history books, we find the title Alexander the Great. So he is referred as great because he was able to conquer almost major part of the earth, major part of the land because of his willpower. So while he was going on such one of the wars, then he was from Barcelona, right? Barcelona, Greece. So one of his masters, a great scholar, told him that when you are coming back from India, bring one saint from there. Then he says, okay. He didn't understand actually why they wanted to meet a saint from India, but he said yes. So once he was in India, he sends his soldiers and says, bring one sage from the place. So they go in search of a sage and they find one rishi or one sage sitting under a tree in a forest, and he was pleasantly meditating. So they approach that person and request him to come to their king, Alexander. The sage refuses. They try to force him, but the sage does not accept. So they go and tell the same to the king. Then Alexander gets angered. He becomes furious because he felt that he was such a great warrior. He was able to conquer the whole world, and there was a simple man. He was refusing to meet him. So he goes with that rage, and then he starts shouting at the sage. And first he tried to request him, then he tried to threaten him, and then he tried to bribe him that he was going to give so much money, wealth, and everything else. But the sage was only smiling. He politely said no. Then the king, Alexander, takes out a sword and says that I will kill you immediately. At this moment, the sage laughs and says, see, you say that you are the master of this world, but you are a slave of your anger. A simple person like me, I cannot do anything to you. I am harmless. You know that. Still, you are not able to accept no from me. So, when you can't control a simple human being like me, how can you say that you are a great person? So, you have been threatening me, shouting at me. Still, I am silent and I am calm. So, that is my power. That is the control over my senses. I have control over my emotions. But you don't have control on your emotions. You get angry, you get frustrated. So, you are not a master, you are a slave of your emotions. Then he realizes his mistake, and then he apologizes to the sage, and then many things happen after that. So this story is related to us because here Swami Vivekananda wanted us to learn this point. So Swamiji says, so we have a proverb or a saying in English which says practice makes a man perfect. But Swami Vivekananda says practice along with concentration can make a man perfect. When we practice without concentration, it is useless. So when we do it with concentration, only then it gives power, only then it gives a result. So this is what I wanted to share with you all. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant evening.